1-800-348-1007.
If you can't beat them, join them. And if you can't join them, send a strongly worded letter asking why your application was rejected. Another helpful tip from the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
I will have the last chance for you to grab $1,000 in about 7 minutes. Last chance today from the Buzzard Bookie. Despite recreational marijuana becoming legal here in Ohio, everybody still seems flummoxed as to how they're going to get dispensaries open, where the money's going to go. And that's the big thing. It really is very much a case for any state that legalizes recreational weed. It's very much a case of be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. Because we all know that when you're going to end up with a pool of money that large, you know, to a lot of people in positions of authority, it's like a giant bowl of M&Ms on someone's desk. Everybody walks by, grabs a handful, and keeps moving. Michigan made $3 billion in weed sales last year alone. I don't have to tell you, that's more than what they sell in alcohol. And there are still people upset with that. This was the selling point even for people who weren't necessarily pro-legalizing weed. They go, well, think of all the money we're going to make. But last year alone works out to about $300 per person in the entire state of Michigan. Here in Ohio, again, they're trying to figure out, you know, Mike DeWine is kind of, depending on what issue you're talking about, Mike DeWine is a, well, the people have spoken kind of guy. And then the right-wingers in the state house go, nah, I think we're going to go this way. Basically telling you, you're too dumb to know what you voted for because it didn't really go the way we wanted. But that's a lot of money. Speaking of Michigan, how about your boy Jim Harbaugh? Now the coach of your Los Angeles Chargers, Bill Squire.
That's right.
Bolt up.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Get them bolts up.
Leaving the University of Michigan. This isn't a surprise. I think as soon as the rumors began, he will head back to the NFL and become the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. He played for the Chargers when they were back in San Diego, right?
Yep, back in the old Wales vagina.
The old in the Wales. He'll always be a Chicago Bear to me, but he was played for the team back formerly in San Diego. And Sharon Moore is the guy that's going to take over, I believe, at the University of Michigan. He was the guy that coached when Harbaugh had been suspended, and I think it was in his contract when they re-signed him that if Harbaugh went anywhere, and maybe he already knew that there were whispers on the wind. I don't know. But he is going to get that gig now, too. He had interviewed with the Broncos in years past. He had sat down with the Minnesota Vikings. And so he's been dabbling for a while. But these guys, at some point, always have to tell the school, I'm not going anywhere. I love Ann Arbor. Or fill in the blank. I love Columbus. I'm not going anywhere. But so who does he get with the Chargers?
Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
That's the big, that's a really good quarterback that they think Jim Harbaugh as a coach can unlock his true potential.
There you go.
And they can get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl together.
I hope so, because they're paying Justin Herbert a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. He's the second highest paid quarterback.
So, as a Chargers fan, you're happy with this?
I never get too up or down about a coach because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like a good hire. He's lauded as the Ohio State killer or the Buckeyes killer after going 2-6 against them,
mm-hmm.
which is he just had a few wins in a row. I mean, he's a good coach.
But when
So
it counts,
he
right?
knows-
The championship
he knows
game, that nobody Ohio State cares until that Michigan game. They don't care about every other
I know.
game.
I understand. Yeah.
Same thing with Michigan.
You never want to lose to that team. He's a very good coach, and he's had success at every level, every program he's been with. So I think he could help the Chargers win. But you still have to go and do it. So I mean, is it a good hire? Yes. Do I think this automatically makes them the best team
Contenders?
ever? No. I think there's a lot of work to do to make that happen. I don't think it's automatic. You get Jim Harbaugh, and all of a sudden, I mean, it's better than Brandon Staley for sure, but it's not. They still got to go out there and do the work.
I didn't see what they were paying him because
They haven't announced it yet, I don't
Michigan
think.
was offering
Like
him
12 a year.
Yes. Michigan was offering him a ton of money. But the Chargers get the guy they want. Michigan loses the guy they wanted to keep. And, who knows? Because these college guys, these coaches, you make a ton of money. You're revered on campus. And you don't have to deal with professional egos.
Yeah, but that's all
Although college kids
changing.
are making more money now, too.
Right, college kids with the transfer portal and the NIL stuff, it is a whole different world in college football right now. So he's also got sanctions coming down his way.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna go to the NFL. I'm gonna try and win a Super Bowl, and that's I had a good run at Michigan. I'm gonna move on.
The NIL era is wild.
Yeah.
They'll do these. There was, I don't know if it was
Well, look at what Ohio State's doing to get that team just so they can beat Michigan. They're shelling out a ton of money to get guys to transfer there.
Yeah. Because there's some people who decommitted, right? When they found out, what's his name? There were guys that decommitted from Michigan, I think, once word got out that Harbaugh was probably leaving.
There's that, and then there's people that decommitted from Alabama because Saban was retiring. So the college football is a wild landscape right now.
But somebody did an article on the quarterback for USC or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
and
Caleb Williams, yeah.
And he's got a downtown L.A. penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Yeah, he made $8 million last year.
Yes. You're like, even if you don't go to the pros,
Yeah.
which a lot of them don't, you can be a killer in college. In the pros, it's just, it's exponentially more competitive. And even if you don't go and get hurt or whatever, if you're smart and you're pocketing that college money.
Well, and
Wild.
that's why you go to those programs that are trying to stay relevant or regain relevancy, and they have deep pockets because they're wildly popular schools, and they go, hey, we'll give you all this money. You come and play football here. And they go, yeah, I think I'll do that. And then you don't have to worry about getting that big NFL contract. If you do, that's a bonus, but you can still make money off of your name like you should have been able to do all along, because these schools make billions of dollars off of college football. I mean, you look
Yeah.
at the ratings for what the college football games were doing, and it's all NFL and college football at the top of the highest rated television programs across the United States.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Drew.
Yeah,
What's up?
that much. Yeah, I was saying that $3 billion down in Michigan, their profit will dwindle somewhat because Ohioans that would travel over there to buy their weed, a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I went there. I was doing comedy, but every time I was up there, I was buying a little bit of weed.
It's funny.
Yeah, but the joining,
Go ahead.
they're joining states. Yeah, they're joining states. Anybody connected to Michigan would, once they legalize it, it'd be good.
Are you high right now?
Yeah, are you, Drew? He's,
Yeah, I am.
he's like, I'm saving a lot of money on gas because I'm not here in Ohio. All right, thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. It is funny, once you cross that state line, once your GPS says you are now in Michigan, it's just nonstop weed
ads,
billboards.
yeah.
And, yeah. Some of them have punny names and some of them don't.
Even though stuff is legal there, it still feels illegal because it hasn't it was so I'm not even gonna say taboo. it was just outlawed for so long, and you got shamed for it. Like I still came from a household where weed is a drug. Like it's not.
Well, it is a drug,
but it's not used for medicinal purposes. No matter how many times people say that, like you smoke weed to get high. It doesn't matter that you can smoke it and finally have an appetite, even though you have cancer. Like that doesn't ring a bell in my household. It's literally because you want to get high.
even though your mom's a nurse.
Yes, even though my mom's a nurse.
And smoke cigarettes.
She doesn't smoke cigarettes anymore.
When did you quit?
I don't know, but she does.
Maybe she's rolling blunts now.
She's not.
Smoke weed every day.
You should try and get your mom to smoke some weed.
I've asked her, did she want to hit the pen before? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh.
Maybe give her an edible.
You
Maybe.
all sedity now. No, she would. When we were in Vegas, I asked her, did she want to do something? She was like, no. I was like,
Yeah, but you bought that
edible?
weed that wasn't weed.
No, but there was.
Did she know that if she did, it would stay there?
What?
What happened?
I got to give some money here. It is $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. This is the last chance for you to win today, so good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Speaking of weed, did anybody see Andre 3000 on Colbert the other night?
No.
You know, he put out that flute album.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him 10 minutes on Colbert as the musical guest to do one of his flute compositions.
Man, what?
The song is called, in Colbert, it has an expletive in it, so I'm not going to play the Colbert intro, but the song is called The Night in Hawaii When I Turned Into a Panther and Started Making These Low Register Purring Tones That I Couldn't Control. Shrimp Was Wild. That's the name of the song, like he's getting his Fiona Apple on. The album is just called New Blue Sun. I don't know why he couldn't be that succinct with the names of the songs, but Colbert gives him 10 minutes to do this song. I'm trying to put this on the live stream here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There we go.
Are you gonna play all 10 minutes?
So hell no, I'll skip through it. But I mean, he's got a drummer and a couple of percussionists, and they got wind chimes, and he's up there with his whatever he's playing. Yeah. I mean, 41 seconds in, you're already over it, right?
I mean, is it just this the rest of the time?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that it is. Yeah.
Yep, that's 3 minutes in. Here's 4 minutes in. Yeah,
And this is why
5 minutes in.
it's
Let's go to 7 minutes. Yeah, God bless Stephen Colbert, boy. He is really
Patient.
He's a patient man. He can do what
That-
he
but
wants.
that's
when,
also-
when you own your show, that's what you can do.
and also when you have that kind of fandom that Andre 3000 has, where people are like, "No, he's an amazing artist. You gotta vibe with this," and people have been like, the people are listening to it, and it's not the majority of his audience, but there's still a big enough audience that even if 10% of them are into it, they're like, that's a lot of people still.
Yeah. I just figured, listen, follow your bliss. But
Yeah, but make better music.
10
well,
minutes
it's
of
very indulgent. And it's like you
10
got to
minutes
do
a
what you
lot.
want to do. But I still think 90% of the people want to hear 1, 2, 3. They
Yeah.
want to hear,
Oh, yeah, something a little catchy, something with a hook. I like a
Or
hook.
words.
Yeah, some words, a beat,
Mhm.
less flutes. Like flutes can be there, but like not just flutes.
Right.
But
Well-
hey, he's doing what he wants to do. He's got a flute album.
We were at ACL years ago for that Outcast reunion. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really good. And there wasn't a flute in sight.
Mm-hmm.
I know you like to think your sheets don't stink, but if you don't wash them, they really, really smell like poop, poop, poo, yeah.
Flute.
Should open. Could you imagine he goes out and opens for Lizzo? Just a full night of flute.
Just fluting.
Yep. Flouting convention. name of the tour. I got This Week in Jesus for you.
This Week in Jesus.
Well, they have done a huge recent survey of the religious affiliations of people across these United States. And the largest single religious affiliated group now in the U.S. is none. More people than ever are choosing none over other organized religions.
We're doing it.
Thank Jesus and Allah and Vishnu. We did it.
Woohoo! Good
Almost
job, guys.
30% of the people that they talk to across a variety of age groups and socioeconomic situations find the religiously unaffiliated. You know, the people who won't kill you over God? Atheists, agnostic, are now the largest cohort in the United States. It was just mere years ago where that number topped out around 14%.
Now what we got to do is organize so that we can buy some politicians and get laws back the way we want them.
Well, that's the thing, too, is that the people who you still can't, you know, people always said that you could never elect an atheist president in this country. And I think they're right. We got a long way to go. I mean, just because it's topping out around 1 in 3 people, that means that 70% of people.
There's more money in religion.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with
Jesus
religion.
wanted it.
Exactly, yes. You remember the good book. Speaking of money, I don't know if anybody else saw the guy who's blaming Jesus for the crypto scam that he and his wife are being accused of. You know, George Carlin said one time, talking about God, God's all-powerful, all-perfect, all-knowing, and all-wise, somehow just can't handle money. And this guy, who's an online pastor in Colorado, one of these guys who's very clearly using a really nice Zoom background.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like he's probably in his basement, but it looks like he's at a lake house and, you know, flora and fauna behind him. A guy named Eli Regalado. He and his wife, Caitlin, are being charged with bilking their flock out of millions of dollars in a crypto scam. I know crypto scam is redundant, but he pretty much cops to it. But he says he did what God told him to do. And so, and this is the big lie, by the way, of people of this ilk, is if you push them hard enough, they will eventually blame God. And so he tries to explain to the people who gave them money for the, it's a combination of, it's God's fault, and we just didn't know what we were doing. They're still on the hook, as far as the government's concerned.
The charges are that Caitlin and I pocketed $1.3 million, and I just want to come out and say that those charges are true. So there's been $1.3 million that's been taken out of, I think it was a total of $3.4 million. But out of that 1.3, $500,000 went to the IRS, and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do.
All right. Now, the Lord told them to do a home remodel.
Lord.
Yeah.
The Lord. Home is where the heart is. And, you know, the Lord is where you find him.
So how this whole thing started is the Lord told us in 21 to walk away from our marketing company. And he said, I'm going to do a new thing. And then he took us into this cryptocurrency. Well, that cryptocurrency turned out to be a scam. And I'm like, well, where's this liquidity going to come from? And the Lord says, trust me. Well, as money is coming in, we would be sowing it. And at first it was hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars, then tens of thousands of dollars. Money would come in, we tithe, we sow, more money would come in. And so we were just always under the impression that God was going to provide, that the source was never ending, that God was doing a new thing, and that we had nothing to worry about. We sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. We took God at his word and sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. And so the prosecutors have to take that and say, these people willingly sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. What we're praying for and what we're believing for still is that God is going to do a miracle. God is going to work a miracle in the financial sector.
So God has led you astray thus far, but hopefully he'll really pull us out of this tailspin here. That's a new one. I got to say, that's a new one. Right? The prosperity gospel, all that nonsense. Hey, give us money, and then we tithe whatever, and then you'll get it back tenfold, all that nonsense. Said the only people who get rich are these guys. but that's a new one to me, unless I'm just not paying close enough attention. God has really bad financial advice. God told us to do this.
I
It's
understand.
a new way to test you.
Yeah,
I
really
believe
is.
there is a scripture. Again, I'm not well versed in the Bible, so I don't like to quote it. But I know there is a scripture that says it's okay to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Now, if you want to say that, that's fine. But I don't like the saying.
There's no
God-
labor involved in this, though. You're getting other people's money.
I mean, a job is a job. but
No. Like in
what
the Bible,
work are they doing?
You're specifically not supposed to try and make money off of God's name.
okay, but what I'm saying
And,
is,
and if you're saying that's their job,
even if you made money, even if you worked from the sweat of your brow and you had a carpentry business, I don't like you saying the Lord told me to get a new kitchen or the Lord told me to buy a new car. Like, I just don't like.
yeah, nobody
I'm-
likes that.
I'm enjoying the fruits of my
How'd you
labor.
make that connection, Einstein?
I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor because God has blessed me. That's the one thing. But like saying, God told me to get this carpet, or God didn't tell you to get a hot tub. God didn't tell you to get checkered tile in your kitchen.
Well, first of all, if you believe in God, you don't know what he told this guy. I just think it's pretty ballsy for this guy to go, listen, God gave me bad advice. He told us to redo our kitchen. God said, you must have an island for your appliances.
God said Panda Express for dinner tonight.
And sounds good. I got a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch and you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio.